In this session, we are going to discuss about oxytocin. So, before knowing the oxytocin structure and its synthesis, we have to learn few things about peptides. Here, oxytocin is a pentapeptide hormone. So, before going to complete discussion about oxytocin, we have to know few things about peptide and classification of peptides and how they are synthesized from amino acids. Let us see the detailed information of peptides and the classification of peptides and the synthetic methods of peptides. Dear students, here peptide is a substance which is derived from two or more amino acids linked by amide bond, or the intermolecular reaction between carboxylic group of one amino acid and amino group of another amino acid with the elimination of small molecules like water. Here this is one amino acid molecule and it is another amino acid molecule. From these two molecules it loses H2O molecule, then it produces an amide linkage. So peptidal bond is nothing but a amidal linkage. Amide linkage is nothing but peptidal linkage. So peptides are classified on the basis of number of amino acid residues present on it. Here we didn't have monopeptide because the peptide bond is formed due to the interaction of two amino acid molecules. Peptides are formed due to the interaction of two amino acid molecules. The peptide contains two amino acid residues are called dipeptide, and if the peptide contains three amino acid residues are called tripeptide. If it contains four amino acid residues, then it is called as tetrapeptide. If it contains five amino acid compounds, then it is called pentapeptide. Here we have an example, that is glycine is reacted with alanine. In glycine molecule, OH group is involved in dehydration. In alanine molecule, the hydrogen atom in amino group is involved in dehydration. That means the carboxylic acid group of glycine and the amino group of alanine forms one peptide linkage. Here the name of this peptide is represented as a GLY-ALA because the abbreviation of glycine is GLY and the abbreviation of alanine is ALA. Now the tripeptide. Tripeptide contains three amino acid residues. Here we consider three amino acids, glycine, alanine, and again I can consider a glycine molecule. Then the formed tripeptide is glycine, alanine, glycine. Similarly, tetrapeptides are also produced by the four amino acids. When many amino acids are joined together, that means more number of amino acids are joined together, those compounds are called polypeptide. So dear students, here we get some idea about peptides. Peptidal bond is nothing but amidal bond. In amino acid molecule, one carboxylic acid group in one amino acid and amino group in another amino acid molecule is involved in dehydration reaction and it generates an amide linkage. It is called peptide bond. So how can we prepare peptides? So here the basic drawback. For example, in old methods, glycine is directly reacted with alanine. Glycine is directly reacted with alanine. Then we can get a mixture of products because, for example, our desired product is glycine. The carboxylic acid group of glycine is involved in dehydration reaction with the amino group of alanine. But here it is also generates the amino group of glycine is reacted with the carboxylic acid group of alanine, and it is also generates glycine peptide and alanine peptide. Here we get four different types of peptidal molecules. Then the desired product of the yield will be decreases. Here the desired product is glycine alanine, but it generates alanine glycine. Here we get three different side products. So that is the main drawback in the older methods. So the old method is modified by using some protecting groups. Here, in the first step, production of terminal amino group is done with tertiary butyl oxycarbonylazide or benzyl oxycarbonylazide. So first of all, if you have to try to prepare an amino acid molecule, first of all you have to protect the amino group in one amino acid molecule. In the second step, we have to activate the carboxylic acid group. So due to the resonance of hydroxy group, the carboxyl group does not exhibits usual properties of normal carbonyl group, so that it is activated by using some activating groups like here the carboxylic acid is converted into acid chloride. Now the two amino acid groups are condensed to produce a peptidyl linkage. Now the same reaction is carried out in number of times, then we can get a polypeptidyl linkage. Then finally removes the protecting group and activating group, then we can get the final product. This is the modified method. And again here we have few drawbacks. Those are, it is a time taken process for the protection and deprotection of a peptide linkage, and and the separation of product from the peptide linkage is somewhat difficult. So that the drawbacks is overcome by Merrifield solid phase support synthesis. So all these drawbacks are overcome by Merrifield solid phase synthesis. Merrifield has introduced a solid base method. In this method, an amino acid or peptide is bonded chemically to an insoluble synthetic resin, and this insoluble synthetic resin is prepared by using chloromethyl. Here para-chloromethyl styrene is interacted with styrene. Here para-chloromethyl styrene is interacted with the styrene molecule, then it produces one resin molecule. So here in this first step, Merrifield solid phase synthesis, we have to prepare resin molecule, and in the second step, protection of amino group, and the third step is condensation of resin with protected amino acid. The protected amino acid is reacted with resin, then it leads to formation of the amino acid is linked with the resin molecule. Now we have to follow the preparation method for the polypeptidal linkage. Now we have to deprotect the amino group and followed by reaction with some amino acid molecules, then we can get a peptidal linkage. Here it is one peptide linkage. The same step is followed to get a desired peptide, that means by tripeptide, pentapeptide or polypeptide. If the desired product is desired polypeptide is obtained, then the peptidal linkage, then the polypeptide is removed from the solid phase support. Here the final step is removal of protecting and resin groups. The advantage of this main Merrifield solid phase synthesis is the use of insoluble solid phase support. Because of this solid phase support, purification of the products are not necessary, and excess of reagent being removed through washing. And the second important advantage of this Merrifield solid phase synthesis is the yield of the product are very high, and the time has been considered shortened for synthesizing peptides. So this is about the peptide, what is meant by peptide and how they are classified, and what are the modifications in the peptidal synthesis. So now we are going to discuss oxytocin. Here oxytocin is produced by the paraventricular nucleus of hypothalamus, and it is released by posterior pituitary gland. In human body or animals, the oxytocin is produced at a paraventricular nucleus of hypothalamus, and it is released to the body through posterior pituitary gland. Here oxytocin is an important peptidal hormone, and it is discovered by Henry Daly in 1906. This hormone is responsible for milk production. It is also used as a medication to facilitate childbirth, and it is responsible for uterus contraction. It is the most important hormonal peptidal hormone. Now, how can we isolate oxytocin? So, oxytocin is extracted from posterior pituitary gland. First of all, this gland is separated from the body and it is dried and extracted with ethanol or acetic acid. The resulting solution is then treated with sodium chloride to coagulate all the proteins. The coagulated proteins, when treated with trifluoroacetic acid, then these are dissociated into various proteins, namely oxytocin, noradrenaline, vasopressin, and their impurities. And finally, these proteins are separated by paper chromatography technique and purified by electrophoresis technique. So now the gland is extracted with ethyl alcohol, then the extract is treated with sodium chloride, then all the solution is coagulated. Now the coagulated solution contains three hormonal molecules. One is oxytocin, noradrenaline, and vasopressin. Now we have to dissociate these coagulated hormonal molecules by using trifluoroacetic acid. Then we can get a dissociated solution which contains and that means separate hormonal molecules oxytocin, noradrenaline, and vasopressin. Now these hormonal molecules, now these peptidal hormones are separated by paper chromatography and purified by electrophoresis. This is the isolation technique of oxytocin. Now we can move to the most important concept in amino acid, that is structural elucidation. Structural elucidation of oxytocin. The isoelectric point of oxytocin is 7.7. What is meant by isoelectric point? The pH at which at certain pH value the amino acid does not migrate towards either cathode or anode is called isoelectric point. Here the isoelectric point of oxytocin is 7.7. So the isoelectric point of oxytocin 7.7 indicates the molecule should contains a free amino group but not a free acid group. If it is contains free acid group, then the pH is definitely lower than 7.0. But here the oxytocin isoelectric point is 7.7, so that it indicates definitely oxytocin contains a free amino group but not free acid group. This is the most important point, and the structural relation is started with isoelectric point and finished with this isoelectric point. And the second point is oxytocin is completely hydrazed with an acid. It gives an 8 amino acids. So if any molecule is on complete hydrolysis, it gives 8 amino acids. That means if it gives 5 amino acids, if it gives 4 amino acids, if it gives 6 amino acids, that represents definitely the 8 amino acid molecules, or that 4 amino acid molecules, or 5 amino acids, or 6 amino acid molecules. All the amino acids should be present in our compound. Here oxytocin is on hydrolysis. It produces 8 amino acid molecules along with 3 moles of ammonia. So in the introduction session we discussed that oxytocin is a peptidal hormone. That means definitely oxytocin should contains peptide bonds, so that it is called as a peptidal hormone. Here it produces 8 amino acids. In this previous in this starting session, that means in this class we are discussed about classification of peptides. Classification of peptides is based on the number of amino acids present in the peptidal molecule. That means if any peptide is on hydrolysis, it produces corresponding amino acid. That means, for example, if the dipeptide is on hydrolysis, it produces 2 amino acid. If the tripeptide is on hydrolysis, it produces 3 amino acid molecules. If the tetrapeptide is on hydrolysis, it produces 4 amino acid molecules. So the formation of 8 amino acid molecules indicates definitely oxytocin is a octapeptide because it is constituted by 8 amino acid molecules. By using C-terminal analysis and N-terminal analysis, They are identified that the 8 amino acids are cysteine, tyrosine, isoleucine, and glutamic acid, aspartic acid, and proline, leucine, glycine. Cysteine, tyrosine, isoleucine, glutamic acid, aspartic acid, proline, leucine, and glycine. In the first session of this amino acid concept, we are discussed in detail about the classification, abbreviation, and structures of all amino acid molecules. Here we have 8 amino acid molecules. Already these amino acid structures and abbreviations are well known. Here the above reaction indicates oxytocin is a octapeptidal molecule. It contains 3 amide groups. That means the compound contains other 3 amide linkages than these peptidal bonds. That means the molecule should contain 3 other peptidal linkages other than these these 3 amide linkages other than 8 peptidal linkages, and these 8 peptidal linkages are generated by cysteine, tyrosine, isoleucine, glutamic acid, aspartic acid, proline, leucine, and glycine. And the next point is the molecular weight of oxytocin has determined by physical methods, and it was found to be 1000. The molecular weight of oxytocin is 1000. This value reveals that octapeptidal nature of oxytocin. This point is already discussed in the earlier. The molecular weight 1000 is also indicates the octapeptidal nature of oxytocin. Next point is presence of cyclic nature. Presence of cyclic nature. Oxytocin is on oxidation with performic acid. It yields disulfonic acid without loss of any atom. For example, if the sulfur-sulfur linkage is in aliphatic system, then it produces a sulfonic acid molecules, two sulfonic acid molecules. If oxytocin is present in aliphatic system, for example, if it is exist as like this, then the bond between sulfur is dissociated during the oxidation reaction, and it is converted as a one sulfonic acid molecule, and it is converted as a another sulfonic acid molecule. But during the oxidation reaction with performic acid, it is does not dissociated into a two molecules, but it produces a disulfonic acid molecule, and the both sulfonic acid molecules are present in same molecule. Both the sulfonic acid groups are present in same molecule but not in different molecules. So the formation of this disulfonic acid molecule indicates oxytocin having cyclic nature. The above reaction indicates oxytocin is cyclic compound, and it contains disulfide linkage, and the formed product is written as oxidized oxytocin. The disulfonic acid product is written as oxidized oxytocin. Now the oxidized oxytocin is on controlled hydrolysis with hydrochloric acid. Now oxidized oxytocin is on controlled hydrolysis with oxidized oxytocin with hydrochloric acid. It yields 4 dipeptides and 2 tripeptides along with 2 moles of citric acid. Oxidized oxytocin is on treatment with is on partial hydrolysis, is on controlled hydrolysis with HCl. It produces dipeptides and 2 tripeptides and 2 citric acid molecules. Based on the C-terminal analysis and N-terminal analysis method, they having following structure. That means the dipeptide structures and tripeptide structures are determined. Here the dipeptides are citric acid is linked with tyrosine, and citric acid is linked with aspartic acid, and isoleucine is fused with glutamic acid, and leucine is fused with glycine. if these type of linkage is definitely present in oxidized oxytocin, that is why it is produced as a dipeptide. Otherwise, these peptides are not generated. So the based on the formation of these linkages, definitely these type of connectivity, that means isoleucine is linked with glutamic acid, and leucine is linked with glycine, and the citric acid is linked with tyrosine, and citric acid is linked with aspartic acid, and the tyrosine is linked with isoleucine and glutamic acid and tripeptide. Here the tripeptide, tyrosine is fused with isoleucine, and isoleucine is linked with glutamic acid. So the connectivity of these peptidal molecule is definitely present in oxidized oxytocin. Here the oxidized oxytocin comes from oxytocin, so that these type of peptidal bonds are definitely present in oxytocin also. Here the oxytocin is a octapeptidal molecule. Here we have 4 dipeptides and tripeptides. So based on these two dipeptides and tripeptides, I have to write 2 new tetrapeptides. I have to write 2 new tetrapeptides. What are they? From based on 1 and 5. 1 and 5. 1 and 5. Citric acid is fused with, here in dipeptide citric acid is fused with tyrosine, and in 5 the tyrosine is linked with isoleucine, and isoleucine is linked with glutamic acid. So that we have to write a tetrapeptide, that is citric acid, tyrosine, isoleucine, and glutamic acid. And based on 4 and 6, based on 4 and 6, here in 4 isoleucine is linked with glycine, and citric acid is linked with proline, and proline is fused with leucine. So that we have to write citric acid, proline, leucine, and glycine as a tetrapeptide, as a tetrapeptide. So based on the about 4 dipeptides and 3 tripeptides, we have to write 2 tetrapeptides. That means we have 8 amino acids, and in these 8 amino acids are linked to each other as like this. So we have to connect these 2 tetrapeptides, then we can get an octapeptide structure of oxidized oxytocin. If we have to write the structure of oxidized oxytocin, then definitely we have to write the oxytocin structure. Let us here in the next reaction, oxidized oxytocin is on partial hydrolysis. It gives 2 tetrapeptides along with glycinamide. So the formation of glycinamide is very important point in this hydrolysis product, because in the starting complete hydrolysis product, in the starting complete hydrolysis reaction, oxytocin is an hydrolysis reaction. It produces 8 amino acids along with 3 ammonia molecules. What we said in this point, the molecule should contain 8 peptide linkages along with 3 additional amide linkages. 3 additional amide linkages. Here by the observing this partial hydrolysis product, here we get 2 tetrapeptides along with glycinamide. That means during hydrolysis, glycine does not convert into a glycinamide. Definitely this glycinamide molecule is must be present in oxidized oxytocin and oxytocin. That means in 3 additional amide linkages, 1 amide linkage is present in glycinamide. 1 amide linkage is present in glycinamide. Oxidized oxytocin is on partial hydrolysis. It gives 2 tetrapeptides along with glycinamide. So based on the formation of glycinamide, we decided that 1 amide linkage is present in glycinamide, and we have to know about other 2 amide linkages. Oxidized oxytocin is on partial hydrolysis. It gives 2 tetrapeptides. Again, based on the C-terminal analysis and N-terminal analysis, they are determining the 2 tetrapeptide structures. So based on the C-terminal analysis and N-terminal analysis, the 2 tetrapeptides are citric acid, tyrosine, isoleucine, and glutamine. Citric acid, tyrosine, and glutamine. Aspartic acid, citric acid, proline, and leucine. So based on the formation of these 2 tetrapeptide linkages, we have to write the structure of oxidized oxytocin. Already in the above dipeptide linkage, leucine is linked with glycine. So that here the leucine is definitely attached with glycine. That means glycinamide in oxytocin. So that based on the above two tetrapeptides, we have to write the sequence of oxidized oxytocin. We have to write the sequence of oxidized oxytocin. From the above point, the structure of oxidized oxytocin is citric acid is fused with tyrosine, and tyrosine is linked with isoleucine, and isoleucine is fused with glutamic acid, and glutamic acid is fused with aspartic acid, aspartic acid is fused with citric acid, and citric acid is fused with proline. Proline is linked with leucine, and leucine is linked with glycinamide. Now here we write the other two amide linkages at glutamic acid and aspartic acid. Why the other two amide linkages are written at glycinamide? Here oxytocin is a tetrapeptidal molecule, and oxytocin is a complete hydrolysis reaction. It gives 8 amino acids along with 3 amide linkages. Already we know that one amide linkage is present in glycinamide, and why we can write the other two amide linkages in glutamic acid and aspartic acid. Here we have one peptide linkage 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are the 8 peptidal bonds. So along with these 8 peptidal linkages, we have another 3 amide linkages, and one amide linkage is already present at glycine molecule, and we didn't know about other 2 amide linkages. So based on the below points, you can determine the other 2 amide linkages. From the above reaction, glycine is isolated as glycinamide. It means that one of the amide group must be present in glycine molecule, and the other 2 that means other 2 amide linkages must be present at remaining amino acid molecules. We have 8 amino acid molecules in oxytocin molecule, and in each amino acid we have only one carboxylic acid and one amino group. That means in cysteine molecule, it has one amino group and one carboxylic acid group. In citric acid, that means cysteine, it has one amino group and one carboxylic acid. Tyrosine having one amino group and one carboxylic acid group. Isoleucine and cysteine and proline leucine, all these amino acids having one amino group and one carboxylic acid group, and all these are involved in peptide linkages. That means the amino group and the carboxylic acid groups must be involved in peptide linkages. But here we have 2 amino acids, those are glutamic acid and aspartic acid. These glutamic acid and aspartic acids are acidic amino acids. That means here glutamic acid contains 2 carboxylic acids, and aspartic acid also consists of 2 carboxylic acid linkages. That means one carboxylic acid is involved in peptide linkages, and the second carboxylic acid is definitely involved in amide linkage. That means there is no possibility at the presence of amide linkage in any other amino acids. So here we have only 2 possibilities to the formation of other 2 amide linkages. One is at glutamic acid and another one is at aspartic acid. So the second point is, out of 8 amino acids isolated from oxytocin, 2 amino acids are called glutamic acid and aspartic acid are the dicarboxylic acid, whereas the remaining 6 amino acids are monocarboxylic acids. As the carboxylic acid groups of the 6 amino carboxylic acids are involved in 6 amino groups and the 6 carboxylic acids are involved in peptide linkages, it means that only 2 dicarboxylic acids having the possibility to involved in 2 amide linkages. From the above point, the structure of oxidized oxytocin, we have to write the structure of oxidized oxytocin first, because the hydrolysis products is based on oxidized oxytocin. The sulfur bond is broken, then we have to write SO3. We have to write SO3H, and here we have SO3H. This is the structure of oxidized oxytocin. How oxidized oxytocin is obtained? oxytocin is on oxidation reaction with performic acid. It leads to formation of disulfonic acid, that is called oxidized oxytocin. Based on the formation of oxidized oxytocin, what we have to said that means oxytocin having one cyclic ring. That means the sulfur linkages must be present in that. So that is why here I have to write a sulfur linkage between these sulfonic acid linkages. So the structure of oxytocin is like this. This is the abbreviative structure, and I have to write detailed structure of oxidized oxytocin. This is the detailed structure of oxidized oxytocin. Here in glycinamide, one amide linkage is present at glycinamide, so that we have to initiate to write the structure, detailed structure of oxytocin at glycinamide. CH2, C-double-bond NH2, and the imino group of glycinamide is involved in peptide linkage with the carboxylic acid of leucine, and the imino group in leucine is involved in peptide linkage with carboxylic acid of proline, and the imino group of proline is involved in the peptide linkage with carboxylic acid of cysteine, and the imino group in cysteine, here it is cysteine, is involved in linkage with carboxylic acid of aspartic acid, that means aspargine, because the other carboxylic acid is converted as a amide linkage, and the imino group of aspargine is involved with peptide linkage of carboxylic group of glutamine, and the imino group of glutamine is involved with peptide linkage with carboxylic acid of isoleucine, and imino group in glutamic isoleucine is involved peptide linkage with carboxylic acid of tyrosine, and imino group of tyrosine is involved with peptide linkage with carboxylic acid of cysteine molecule. Here in cysteine molecule we have two carboxylic acids and two imino groups. So here we left with one free imino group. So because of this free imino group, the isoelectric point is exists at or shows at 7.7. So that is the first point. So based on that, we said that oxytocin having one free imino group. So this is the structural elucidation of oxytocin. Now we are moving to determine the synthesis of oxytocin. Before going to synthesize the oxytocin, we have to know few things about production of imino group and how can we represent, and production of carboxylic acid and how can we represent it, and production of sulfur, production of hydroxy group, and activation of carboxylic acid group. So all these things are already discussed in the synthesis of peptides. So let us here we have to write some abbreviative forms for production and activation and protection things. Here production of imino group. For example, we have to consider a glycine. It is protected with benzoyl oxycarbonyl, then it is abbreviated as Z-glycine. Here you have to represent Z-glycine. That means in glycine molecule the imino group is protected and it is reproduced by HBr. Then we can get H-glycine. That means either glycine, GLY, or H-glycine represents in glycine molecule the imino group is free in nature. Protection of carboxylic acid. So carboxylic acid is protected by conversion into a ester. So it is represented as or abbreviated as GLY-OET. That means GLY-OET means in glycine molecule the ester functional group is the carboxylic acid functional group is protected as an ester and it is deprotected by hydrolysis. Activation of carboxylic acid. For example, we consider glycine and now it is treated with para-nitroethyl benzoate. Then it produces glycine NP. That means here we abbreviated as NP. So NP means in glycine molecule the carboxylic acid is activated. Protection of sulfur. Here in oxytocin molecule we have sulfur containing amino acid molecule, so that during the synthesis sulfur does not involved in reaction in sometimes, so that for that we have to do protection of sulfur. For protection of sulfur, we have to done with benzyl chloride. Then we have to represent it as, that means it is abbreviated as CYS, that means cysteine. In cysteine molecule, the sulfur is benzylated, that means protected, and it is deprotected by using sodium in liquid ammonia. Then we can get the free sulfur group. And the next compound is protection of hydroxy group. So here in oxytocin we have tyrosine having hydroxy containing functional group, so that it is protected with benzyl chloride and deprotected as like a sulfur containing system, that is sodium in liquid ammonia. Now the synthesis starts at the glycine molecule. So HGLYOAT, that means in glycine molecule the carboxylic acid is protected and the immuno group is free in nature. Now in the structure of oxytocin, glycine is fused with glycine is linked with here the glycine. In this structure, glycine, the immuno group of glycine is attached with carboxylic acid of leucine. So that is why here Z leucine NP. NP means in leucine molecule the carboxylic acid is activated and the immuno group is protected, so that carboxylic acid is involved in reaction and immuno group does not involved in reaction. Then we can get Z leucine glycine OET. We get a dipeptidyl molecule. In this dipeptidyl molecule the immuno group is protected and glycine molecule is also protected. Now we have to deprotect the leucine molecule, and it is deprotected by using HBr. Then we can get leucine glycine OET, that means glycine is protected. Now in the next connectivity, that means in oxytocin molecule, in leucine molecule the immuno group is linked with carboxylic acid of proline. So now I take proline molecule here. Now I take proline molecule. So proline, so in proline molecule immuno group is protected and carboxylic acid group activated, so that we get tripeptide Z proline leucine glycine OET. That means in this tripeptide molecule immuno group of proline is protected and carboxylic acid of glycine is also protected. Now it is converted as a glycinamide by treatment with ammonia, because in oxytocin molecule the glycine is presented as a amide linkage, so that Z proline, leucine and glycinamide. Now the same steps are repeated with the above as. So here immuno group is deprotected and it is treated with cysteine. In cysteine molecule we have one immuno group and benzyl group and carboxylic acid group, so that in cysteine molecule we protect the immuno group and sulfur containing compound, that is represented as BZL, and the carboxylic acid group is involved in reaction, so that is why it is activated with paranitro-ethyl benzoate. Then we can get a tetrapeptide. Now it is on deprotection with HBr, followed by treatment with aspartic acid and deprotection by HBr. So if we have to understand the first three steps, then we have to write the synthesis of oxytocin very easily. So just you have to take a screenshot and then try to study and try to understand the synthesis of oxytocin. This is the synthetic process of oxytocin. Thank you, students.